Hi, I'm Melanie, and this is Melanie's Yoga Couch. Today we'll be doing a Go with the Flow prenatal yoga sequence. We'll be moving and flowing through some yoga poses and sequences while maintaining a really strong and stable base. This will help us to practice moving and flowing with whatever comes at us throughout this pregnancy and into the birth. Come to virasana on your mat, kneeling and setting a block or a folded blanket underneath your sit bones. If this is uncomfortable, feel free to come into a cross-legged position. Bring one hand to your heart and one to your stomach. Start to feel the breath moving through the body. Feel how it moves like a wave through the body, filling the stomach and then the chest. And then exhaling through the nose. Your spine stays long and your chin lightly tucked for a nice long neck. Notice how you're moving with the breath as it flows through the body. And then release the hands to the thighs, palms facing up. Open your eyes. And then bring your fingertips to the ground. And on your next inhale, draw the arms up overhead, palms come together to touch. Exhale the hands together in front of the chest in Namaste Mudra. Inhale, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and lift the arms. Shoulders down. Exhale, release. Fingertips to the ground. 2 more times. Inhale, arms up overhead, palms come together. Exhale, the prayer comes down through center. Inhale, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. Shoulders down. Exhale, release. Fingertips to the mat. One last time. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, draw the hands to the center of the chest. Inhale, press the palms forward and lift. Shoulders down. Exhale, release. Fingertips come to the ground. We're going to do some light back bending. So walk your hands behind you, fingertips facing forward. Maybe you're on the fingertips or the palms. Lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale into the chest, filling the chest. Exhale, walk the fingers back forward. Reach your right arm up over the head. Bring your left fingertips to the ground and come into a light side bend over to your left side. Really reaching up. Inhale, come back through center. Bring your right hand down, left arm up. Let the tailbone sink down. Maybe look up, straight ahead or down, whatever works for your neck. Inhale, come back up. Bring your hands in front of you, lift your hips up off the block or blanket and move it over to the side. Tuck your toes under, bring your knees together or about hip-width apart and sit your hips back on the heels. One hand to the chest, one hand to the stomach. This can be a pretty intense foot stretch, so feel free to come down to the tops of the feet at any time. But if you can, try to stick with it. Feeling deeper into the breath. Remaining calm and relaxed in the shoulders and in the face. Just a couple more breaths. And then release. Bring the hands forward. Coming into all fours. Lightly tap the tops of your feet on the ground just to bring some life back into those feet. Spread your fingers. We're going to move into some cat-cow. So bring the knees underneath the hips. And inhale, lift the chest. Glancing up, exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, lift, chest forward and up. Exhale, round. Really lift in between the shoulder blades. Inhale, reach the chest forward and up. And exhale, round your spine. Find a neutral position. And then reach your left leg out behind you, toes tucked under. Reach the left heel back, press into your hands, and find that nice calf stretch. Exhale, lift the leg parallel to the ground, toes pointing down. And stay here, or if you'd like, it's optional to reach your right arm forward, thumb pointing up. One more breath. Strengthening the back. Bring your right hand down, left knee down. Stretch your right leg out behind you, tuck the toes under, reach the right heel back. Lift the right leg parallel to the ground, toes pointing down. And if you'd like, reach the left arm forward. Press your right hand into the ground. We're strengthening the lower back here. Bring your left hand to the mat, right knee to the mat. You can wiggle the hips around a little bit just to loosen up a little bit. And then leave your hips where they are. We're going to walk the hands forward, coming into puppy pose or anahatasana. Relax your chest and your head towards the ground. Allow the forehead to sink all the way to the mat. And then slowly walk your hands back towards you until you come back up into all fours. Curl your toes under and extend your left leg behind you, curling the left toes under. Slide your left foot forward so that the left leg is in a line with your right hip. Plant the foot. Press your right hand into the ground and reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Open the chest. Exhale, left arm comes down and underneath the right shoulder. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread the hand underneath the right shoulder. Inhale, lift. Follow the hand with your gaze if you'd like. And exhale, a small twist. Inhale, open the chest. And exhale, release your left hand down to the ground. Release the left knee to the ground. We'll move right into the other side. Extend your right leg behind you, and then slide the right foot forward, planting the right foot. Bring your left hand under the shoulder and reach your right arm up. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left shoulder. Inhale, lift. Exhale. And inhale, lift and open. Keep pressing the left hand into the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right arm comes underneath and through. Inhale, lift and open. And exhale, release. Right hand comes to the mat, right knee to the mat. Maybe swing your hips a little bit from side to side. And then bring your knees as wide as the mat. Curl the toes under. Reach the hands forward, coming into a long child's pose. Stretch out the back. Remember, you can always come into child's pose whenever you need to. Inhale, pull yourself forward, coming back into all fours, knees underneath the hips. And then come down to your forearms. The forearms are parallel. Rotate your palms up towards the ceiling, and then make fists with your hands, pulling the fists back towards the elbows, and then release. Make fists, and then uncurl your fingers. Make fists, just stretching out the wrists. It's pretty typical to have sore wrists during pregnancy. Remember to be kind to the wrists, stretching them out occasionally. Walk your hands back. We're going to move into downward facing dog. Bring your feet a little bit wider than you normally would, maybe about as wide as the mat. Bend the knees lightly and really press the hands into the mat for a nice long spine. Go ahead and walk out the legs if you'd like, bending and straightening the legs. And then start to walk the hands back towards the feet. Turn your toes out slightly, heels in. And then let your hips sink down, coming into Malasana or a squat. If this doesn't work for you, you can come up, bringing the elbows onto the thighs into a chair pose. Otherwise, we'll let the hips sink down. Bring the hands together in front of the chest in a prayer position, pressing the elbows lightly against the knees lightly against the elbows. And we'll do a couple of Kegels here. On your next exhale, release everything. On your inhale, pull your pelvic floor up, just like if you're going pee and you stop yourself from going pee. This is the same action. Exhale, release. Inhale, pull everything up. Exhale, release. Bring your hands to the mat. Come into a forward fold. The feet are a bit wider than the hips, and the feet are parallel. Let the head sink. Inhale, lengthen the spine in a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, you can keep the knees lightly bent. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Release the neck and the shoulders. And then slowly start to walk yourself up to a standing position with a nice round spine, supporting yourselves with the hands on the thighs. And once you're ready, inhale the arms up overhead, bringing the hands together, and exhale the hands together in front of the chest. Inhale, draw the arms up overhead, palms together. Exhale, come into your forward fold, bending the knees, bringing the fingertips to the ground. Walk your hands forward until the knees come gently to the ground. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, press the hips back, toes curled under, reach the arms forward in child's pose. Inhale, come back forward. Exhale, you might move into a mini push-up if you'd like, or chaturanga. And exhale, push back into child's pose. Inhale, come back forward. We're moving back into downward facing dog. Feet wide. Press yourself up. Knees lightly bent. Long spine. Couple breaths. You can feel free to stay in all fours if downward facing dog isn't working for you today. And start to walk your hands back into the forward fold. Bring the hands up onto the thighs and roll yourself up to standing. Reach the arms up overhead, palms come together. And exhale the hands in front of the chest. We're going to move through that same sequence one more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Fingertips to the ground. Walk your hands forward until the knees come gently to the ground. Inhale, lift your chest, maybe a little chaturanga. Press your hands into the mat and press your hips back into child's pose and extended child's pose. Lengthen the spine. Inhale, come back forward. Maybe move into your push-up. And then we'll press back into child's. Press yourself forward, lift up into downward facing dog. If you're taking downward dog, lengthen the spine. Bend your knees as much as you need to find release, to find length in your lower back. One more breath. And then start to walk your hands back into the forward fold. Slowly moving back up to standing. Make sure the feet are parallel. And we'll come into standing. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale the hands together in front of the chest. Now bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your stomach. Take a moment to feel again the breath flowing through the body. You might give your feet a check, making sure that they're parallel. Bending the knees slightly so that the tailbone can sink and the lower back can remain long. Feel the breath. Feel your stability and strength in your legs, even as the breath flows through the body. Release the hands and take a big step forward with your right foot, moving into Warrior Two on your right side. Turn the left toes out. Come as deep as you'd like. The deeper you come, the more intense it is, so feel free to lift up out of Warrior Two if it's too intense. Reach the arms out in both directions. On your next exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, bend deeply. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. One more time here, just flowing with the movement. Straighten and bend, finding Warrior Two. Couple breaths here. Then bring your left hand to your stomach. Coming into Reverse Warrior, reach your right arm up and back if you'd like. Just make sure you have no compression in the lower back. Allow the tailbone to sink towards the ground as much as it can. And then come back into Warrior Two. Straighten your right leg, hands to the hips. Rotate your right foot inwards and your left foot out towards the back of the room. Coming into Warrior One on your left side. Now move through the flow. Exhale, straighten your left leg. And inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. One more time, straighten the left leg. And bend, coming back into Warrior Two. Tailbone sinks towards the mat. One more breath. Bring your right hand to the stomach, left arm reaches up. First, we're reaching straight up towards the ceiling, and if you'd like, you can start to reach back, but just be aware and mindful of your lower back. Release back into Warrior Two. Straighten your left leg, hands to the hips. Now turn your left toes in. Bring your heels a little bit towards the middle, toes pointing out. We're going to come into Goddess pose, so sit deep, bending the knees. Let the tailbone sink down and make sure the knees are pointing in the same direction as your feet. Lift your hands up, palms facing the ceiling. Draw your shoulders back, shoulder blades together. Open the chest. Now we're going to move through some flowy movement, so bring both arms over to your left and sweep them over to your right side. Sweep them back over to the left and up and over, straightening the legs. Do it again from right to left, left to right, up and over, straightening the legs in flowy movement. You can also come pretty deep, left to right and back, getting deep into the legs, or you can bring the hands to the thighs and just move that way. It depends on what trimester you're in and how you're feeling today, how deep you're going to go. Just start to move for yourself from side to side, sweeping the arms, flowing movement. Just try and let go of what it looks like. This is just for you. And then come to a neutral position in the middle. Bring your feet parallel. Feet still wide. Open up the chest, look up, and exhale, start to walk the hands forward on the thighs. Bend your knees as much as you need to. We're going to bring the fingertips to the ground. You might grab the block if you have one to set underneath the hands. We're going to bring the left hand to the block, directly underneath the head, and then lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. The belly still points down. This is not a twist for your belly, just your shoulders. Exhale, right hand down, left arm up. Switch the hands, left hand to the block, right arm lifts. You might look up or down. Changing arms, reach your left arm up. And one more time, both sides. Right arm floats up, belly pointing down. The breath is still long and smooth. Reach your left arm up. And left arm comes back down. We're going to walk ourselves back up to standing. We're going to move into some hip circles. So bring your hands to the hips, bend the knees slightly, and just start rotating the pelvis in the other direction. And then find a neutral position. Draw your heels in a bit, the toes out. We're coming back to goddess pose, sit low. And we're going to move through the flowy movement again. This time reach your arms to the right and sweep them over to the left. Back over to the right and up and over, straightening the legs. Just move through this flowy movement a couple of times at your own pace. Coming as deep or as high as suits your own body today. One more time, reaching the arms up and over. Hands back to the hips, straighten your legs. Coming back into the forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Come with a straight back, down to the ground, bringing the fingertips to the block. We're going to bend the right knee deeply, keep the left leg straight, and move on a line with your arms over towards the right. Just coming into a side lunge. Sit the hips low. If you'd like to go a bit deeper, you can put the block right underneath your sit bones. Lift the left toes, flex the left foot, and maybe lift your left arm up and open the chest, right fingertips to the ground. Here we'll switch sides, bring your weight forward onto the hands. You're going to need to scoot the block along with you, so either move in one line over to the left, bending your left knee and straightening the right leg, coming into Skandasana. If you'd like, coming deeper, setting the block underneath your sit bones. Bringing your left arm to the inside of the left leg, fingertips to the ground, reach your right arm up, flex the right foot, press the right heel lightly into the ground. Your right arm comes down. Bring your weight into the hands, lift the hips, walk the hands back to the center underneath the shoulders, and either stay here with the hands underneath the shoulders and a long spine, or start to fold in, releasing the head, releasing the neck and the shoulders. Feel free to bend the knees as much as you need to. And then walk your hands back and walk your feet in a bit, coming back into Malasana, bringing the heels in, toes out. You might stay in Utkatasana if you feel too much pressure in the pelvic area with your elbows on the thighs, or you might set the block underneath the sit bones. Again, we're going to do some Kegels here. So exhale, release, and inhale, pull up on your pelvic floor. Exhale, release. Inhale, pulling up. You can practice this at any time. Exhale, release. Moving at your own pace. And then release out of Malasana. Bring the hips to the ground gently. And then extend your legs out in front of you and give them a nice shake here. We're going to come into 90-90 pose. Bring your left foot to the ground and use your left hand to guide the left leg behind you. The thigh is parallel to the front of your mat. Bend your right knee and the shin is parallel to the front of your mat as well. We're going to twist over towards the right, bringing the left hand to the shin and move into some cat-cow. Inhale, lift the chest and the gaze. Exhale, look down, round the back. Inhale, lift, and exhale, round. Just 3 more rounds of this, moving at your own pace. Just kind of bringing some movement into the spine. One more time, inhale, lift, And exhale, round. Find a neutral position. And we're going to come into a forward fold. So you might not come very far forward at all. And you might come over in the direction of the right knee or just down through the middle. Find whatever works for you. So you find a nice stretch in your right hip area. You also have room for the belly. Keep the breaths nice and long, nice and deep. And then slowly start to walk the hands up. Extend both legs out in front of you. Give them a nice shake. And we'll move into the other side. The right foot comes to the ground. You can guide the right leg behind you with the right hand. Bend your left knee, the left shin parallel to the short end of your mat. Turn towards the left and inhale, lift. And exhale, round for cat-cow. Inhale, lift the chest. It's not going to be a huge movement. Exhale, round the spine. 3 more times at your own pace. Inhale, lift, open the chest. Exhale, round. Release, come back to center. Maybe you fold forward over your left knee. Maybe in the middle over the front shin. And then start to draw yourself forward any amount. Finding a nice stretch in your left hip while maintaining a nice long lower back. And then reconnect with the breath, just noticing the rising and fall of your stomach and your chest. And then slowly walk yourself back up to a seated position. Extend both legs out in front of you. Give them a little shake. And then bend your knees. Bring your heels to the outer edges of the mat, flexing the feet. Rest your forearms on your shins and let the head sink forward for a nice round spine. Find some release in the neck and in the upper back. And then slowly roll up. Bring the soles of the feet together in butterfly or Baddha Konasana. Lengthen the spine and then grab the feet if you'd like and start flowing forward, rounding the spine and then lifting and looking up. Coming forward, rounding. One more time, lifting. And then come back down and gently pull yourself towards the feet. Again, trying to release the head and neck and shoulders. Slowly roll yourself up to a seated position. Use your hands to bring your knees up, extending the legs out in front of you. Give the legs a nice shake. We're going to come to lying on the left side. So swing your knees over to the left and bring your left elbow to the ground, resting your head in the left hand. Reach the right knee up towards your right shoulder and gently hug it in with your right hand. Stay here or grab the outside of your right foot and extend the leg. Bend the knee and release the leg down. We're going to come onto the other side by just rolling onto our back and then rolling over to the right side. Rest your head in your right hand. Keep the knees bent for stability. And then lift your left knee up towards the left shoulder, hugging it in with your left hand. Stay here, or feel free to extend the leg, grabbing the outside of the foot. Gently release. bending your left knee and stacking it on top of the right. We're going to roll over onto the back now. If that's uncomfortable for you, or if you ever get dizzy, then feel free to just come to lying on your left side. Otherwise, hug your knees up, making room for the stomach, and grab the outsides of your feet. We're coming into happy baby, so bring the feet wide and gently press the knees towards the ground, rocking from side to side. One more breath. Release the feet to the ground and slowly come on up over your left side to a seated position. We're just going to set up now for Shavasana. So I'm taking a nice thin blanket that I folded to place underneath the head. And then using a pillow or a bolster between the knees and ankles to make sure that they stay on the same plane. You can also set a folded blanket underneath the stomach for support and cover yourself with a blanket to make sure you stay warm for these extra couple minutes of relaxation. And then wherever you are, get really heavy and let go, knowing that there's nowhere else you should be but here on your mat for rest and relaxation. Gently start to deepen the breath. And then we'll start to bring some small movements to the fingers and the toes. Maybe you'll even rotate your hands and feet, stretching out the wrists and ankles. And then gently over the next couple of breaths, start to press yourself up to a seated position. And then bring one hand to your stomach and one hand to your heart. Feel the breath flowing through the body. knowing that you are strong and stable as you flow and move with life and whatever it brings you throughout your pregnancy and into the birth. Bring both hands to your stomach and start wishing your baby thoughts of loving kindness. Bring the hands together in Namaste Mudra, thumbs to the third eye, to the lips and to the heart. And then we bow forward in gratitude. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.